What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is BJ Gaming. We'll be doing our final team in the National League Central, and it's going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates, a team that didn't really do a whole lot in the offseason. I mean, they brought in a few new players, but nobody that's really going to change their team at all. And they got Paul Skeens. I feel like they should be going for a little bit more. I mean, let's be honest. When he hits free agency in 2030, I highly doubt he's still going to be a Pirate. I would be shocked if the Pirates end up re-signing Paul Skeens. And I hope he does stay in Pittsburgh because I like seeing small market teams keep their stars. But the way the Pirates are with ownership, they just don't want to spend a lot of money. So I'm going to try to keep that same philosophy, keep it realistic. I'm not saying I won't spend any money like the Pirates, but I will try to keep it realistic. I'm not going to go out and pretty much like the Brewers franchise I just did. Go check out that video where we didn't spend a ton of money. I mean, I did sign Bo Bichette and I did give out contracts because the Brewers have given out some contracts. They haven't gave out like a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. type of contract. So with the Pirates, we're probably going to do the same. So let's take a look at this team. Paul Skeens, we all know how good he is. Just an absolute stud, 22 years of age. He's going to be our ace. You have Jared Jones as well. Both these guys under contract till 2030. And the Pirates should really take advantage of having both these young studs under contract because who knows you're going to be able to keep half these players. Like I said, Mitch Keller, who also signed 4 years. So we got three guys on rotation for this whole franchise, which is a good thing. Pretty solid. I mean, he puts up a 4 ERA each year almost. That had a few bad years, but really reliable starter. They signed Andrew Heaney in the offseason, surprisingly. After I said they don't spend a lot of money, they did sign him to a $12.5 million deal. Maybe that's after some of the fan criticism of them not spending money. Not sure how much of a game changer that is for them. He's been pretty solid the last 3 seasons. Like, he gives you quality. I hope he does that in this franchise. Johan Oviedo, who has been hurt a lot, and I really had high hopes for Johan Oviedo, and I still do. When he was with my Cardinals, he really showed flashes, even though his ERAs were high. He showed he could be a reliable starter, so hopefully he gets back to being healthy. You got Bailey Falter and then Bubba Chandler, their top pitching prospect in the minor leagues, and also Thomas Harrington. But other than that, they don't really have a lot of top prospects. They do have Hunter Barco. Other than that, a lot of C's and D's. Look at the bullpen. Dari Moreta, who have to put on the 40-man, had a pretty solid year last year. Dennis Santana, who was with the Yankees, I believe, at one point. Also Dodgers, Mets. He's been in a lot of teams. Colin Holderman, who's we had in another team. I think we had him with the Brewers, and he was actually very good. He looks like he's going to be a stud in franchise. Carmen Miller, I'm not even going to try to pronounce. I'm just going to call him Zinski. Another young relief pitcher. So they have some solid relief pitchers. Ryan Borecki as well. So there's something to work with the pitching side here. And then David Bednar, who was dynamite from 2021 to 2023. He saved 39 games in 2023, but last year was a disaster. Pitched in 62 games, 5.77 ERA. We have him for 2 more seasons until he hits free agency. Maybe we look to move him for some offense if he's really struggling. So I know the Pirates' offense isn't very good, so let's take a look at how bad this offense actually is. So we have Joey Bart behind the plate. Not bad at all. Has good power, good contact. Had a solid year last year with the Pirates that are not really playing a lot in San Francisco and just didn't really get consistent playing time. And when he did, he didn't really perform. So we'll have to see how he keeps performing. Henry Davis, who hasn't really worked out how they'd hoped yet, but he's only 25 years old. He'll probably be our backup catcher. You have Indy Rodriguez, Jason DeLay. And then first base, they went out and got Spencer Horwitz, which, I mean, he could be a solid addition to this roster. I mean, we'll have to see. His stats aren't bad, especially against right-handers. I feel like he's going to be a better platoon guy. Like, we could bring in a right-handed first baseman to platoon with him. I think that'd be probably the best case scenario. No really big-time first base prospects. You have Nick Gonzalez at second base. Another guy with not much power. Solid contact, though, but other than that, not really expecting a whole lot offensively from him. And you have Jared Trielo, who's going to probably be a guy off the bench, utility guy. Ke'Bryan Hayes, another guy, not much power. He's got a little bit of pop against lefties, but none against righties. 86 contact, so he'll give us some good batting average, hopefully. I'm noticing so far not a lot of power in this lineup. Horwitz has the highest power we have. No third, all D level third base prospects. Shortstop Isaiah Kiner Falefa, another guy with not much power. Like, they have a lot of guys with high contact, which ain't a bad thing, but you also want a little bit of power in your lineup. You have Peguero, who's only 24 years of age. We'll have to see if he gets anything going. Another guy with high contact. And you go to left field, Brian Reynolds. Even his power is not like high in this game, which is actually surprising because he's put up 20 home runs the last 4 seasons. And then they signed Tommy Pham in the offseason, which, I mean, I would have just signed Alex Verdugo personally, but I guess they want a veteran guy to have in the clubhouse. Tommy Pham's a good veteran to have. And then you have O'Neal Cruz, who's an absolute stud. His power is decent, 64, 61. 21 home runs last year for O'Neal Cruz. And then Sawinski, another guy who's really a typical, like, today's type of baseball player, just strikeout or home run type of player. We'll have to see how he does. Maybe he's an extra outfielder. And you have Andrew McCutchen, who's potentially in his final season. I think he did say this might be his last year, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully he retires and we get him to the playoffs. So we look at this offense. Pitching, I think we're good, but offensively, this team is going to be a work in progress. I mean, they have like no power besides Horowitz and a little bit of power in O'Neal Cruz. I mean, this offense is going to struggle, and we might have to use some of that pitching to go out and get some offense because, like I said, this isn't a team that's going to go out and get a big-time hitter, most likely, if we're being realistic with this franchise. So this is tough. I mean, this is going to be a tough franchise. I don't know what to expect from this Pirates team, but maybe we'll surprise some people and make a run. So I'll go ahead and I'll look through free agency. If we can sign any hitters, I'll let you guys know about it, maybe at the trade deadline if they end up making an impact, and I'll get this franchise underway. So we're going to accept this trade from the Texas Rangers. Ezekiel Duran, who's 25 years old, for Jared Trielo, who's not having a good offensive season. Duran's not having like a fantastic offensive season either, but he definitely provides more upside. So we did our first draft, and we went mainly for offense, as we should. We ended up drafting Franz Carrasco with our first round pick, third baseman. We also got Dwayne Land, second baseman. Their stats look overall good for hitting, so hopefully they pan out, make an impact in this franchise. Dan Rahav, I think that's how you pronounce it. Potential to be a good relief pitcher. We got Frank Shavitz, closing pitcher. Ramses Rosa, left fielder. Catcher Derek Shipley, and Roberto Lopez, who's a center fielder. So a lot of new hitters in this organization. Hopefully some of them pan out. Gentlemen, here we are, first trade deadline. We're one game over 500. It's been a pretty mediocre season, but we are one game back in a very crowded NL Central right now. The Brewers lead by a half a game over St. Louis, one game over us, one game over the Cubs, and 2 games over the Reds. So this is going to be just an all-out war for the NL Central. Any team can run away with it. You have one hot week, and you run away with it. So let's see how our team's been performing. I'll save the lineup for last because I have a feeling the lineup's a complete disaster. Paul Skeens, pitching like Paul Skeens. 2.53 ERA, 7.8 record. Probably not a lot of run support in that time, I'm assuming. Jared Jones, 3.81 ERA, a little high, but not too awful of a season for Jared. Mitch Keller's having an awesome season, 8-6, 2.86 ERA. Andrew Heaney, about where his typical career numbers are, so I'm not too mad at it. 4-10 record, 4.36 ERA. And then for a fifth starter, Yohan Eviedo's done what he needs to do, 9-5 record, 4.49 ERA. So the starting rotation has been pretty good. Let's take a look at the bullpen. Zinski, not great at all. ERA over 5. Ryan Barecki has been good. Free agent to be. We'll have to see if we can maybe bring him back. But good season for him, 2.75 ERA. Carl Edwards Jr. has been good. We signed him in free agency, which he's always been a reliable pitcher when he's been healthy throughout his career. He's had a few bad seasons when he's been hurt, but I thought he was a good pickup. He was only $3.1 million. It seems like that's been worth it. Colin Holderman's been okay. ERA a little high. Caleb Ferguson's had a great season, also a free agent to be. 2.70 ERA for him. David Bednar's had a good bounce-back season, which is great to see. 2.54 ERA for David. And then Dennis Santana with 26 holds, 3.19 ERA. And then Dari Moreta, 35 saves and 39 opportunities, 3.12 ERA. So he's settled in that close. But I don't really get how his overall is dropping. He's had a good season. So our pitching's been good. I definitely see pitching being our strong suit like I predicted. But this offense, let's take a look. I don't even want to look, but let's take a look. O'Neal Cruz having a decent season so far, 14 home runs, 42 RBIs. About where his numbers are last year. I mean, a little bit down in slugging, but not a horrible season for O'Neal. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, we've been getting a lot of trade offers for. I was wondering why. He's not having a fantastic season by any means, but it's about where his numbers usually are when he has a good season. Brian Reynolds is having a down year power-wise. He's still hitting 284, about where his slugging numbers are last year, but just not really hitting for much power so far. JD Martinez, who we did sign in free agency because he added some power to our lineup, he's having a pretty good season, 12 home runs, 58 RBIs. It's just, for some reason, none of these guys are hitting for not even some reason. Just you know, the power guys we do have aren't hitting for much power. Spencer Horwitz is not doing anything offensively really. 5 home runs, 37 RBIs, just dreadful. Kutch isn't really doing too much either. 9 home runs, 37 RBIs, only hitting 224. Ezekiel Duran, who we got in the trade, not awful. I mean, I'll take those offensive numbers. If he had a better lineup, it probably wouldn't be as bad. Brian Hayes has been awful offensively. His numbers across the board. I mean, that's where his numbers were last year. His last year wasn't very good either. So, Andy Rodriguez, who we did have Joey Bart get hurt. I'm assuming he'll be back by next month, but he did get hurt, so he's not currently playing. We have Andy Rodriguez, who's not providing a whole lot offensively. And then we look at our bench, Tommy Pham. When he has played, he's been pretty good. So that's good to see. Henry Davis, who we called up from AAA, been decent, I guess. I don't know. And then Nick Gonzalez, who's playing a platoon role right now. Not bad numbers, 255 average. And then Jack Sawinski's just been dreadful. So, like we pretty much predicted, the offense has been a complete disaster. The pitching is really the only reason we're even above 500 right now. I mean, the offense, you could say Brian Reynolds is having a pretty good season besides the power numbers. JD Martinez has done what he needs to do for the most part. But outside of that, and O'Neal Cruz hasn't been like completely horrible. But like outside of those three, and maybe Kiner Falefa, if you count his numbers even being good, this offense 5 through 9 has been just dreadful. So we got to look for some trades. I'm going to look through. I got to get some type of hitter in here, even if it's 1 or 2 hitters. We got to make some offensive adjustments because I do think this team could potentially get in the playoffs if we get a hot streak going. Any team in this Central can. So I'm going to look through some trades. One trade we were going to make, we're going to get David Fry from the Guardians. He isn't having a huge power season, but you look at his offensive numbers. He had some pop to our lineup. He's versatile, can play all over. He signed for the rest of the franchise, so we're good there. We're going to give up Tony Blanco Jr., who's 19 years old, first base prospect, and Ke'Bryan Hayes. I know Pirates fans are, they love Ke'Bryan Hayes, but he just isn't going to provide a lot offensively in this franchise. You look at his numbers, not great, and we need to change some things up with this team. As good of a defensive player as he is, we got to get some offense in Pittsburgh, so we're going to make this deal. Another trade we're going to get, I know I had him on the Cubs, but I'm going to get Lawrence Butler because this guy seems like a cheat code in franchise. We're giving up a pretty good package. We're giving up Peguero, who's played good in AAA this year. We're giving up Andrew McCutchen. I know Pirates fans, y'all are going to hate me. Like, why are you giving up McCutchen? We got to get rid of one of our outfielders. We're not getting rid of O'Neal Cruz. Brian Reynolds is probably not right now tradable. Maybe down the line we move him. And then JD Martinez has been arguably our best power hitter, so we're going to trade them. McCutchen, and then we're also going to give them Harrington, who's our top pitching prospect, having an okay season in AAA, so we give up a pretty hefty package, in my opinion, for Lawrence Butler. So first regular season is over. We had a league leader. Paul Skeens led the league in WAR, which is fantastic, but overall our season was not very good. We finished just at 500, 3 games out of first place. The Cardinals ended up winning with the 84-78 record, so not a strong division, but we just didn't get the job done. We had some offense, but it wasn't enough. And let's say everybody performed. Paul Skeens, fantastic, 11-11, 2.48 ERA. Jared Jones had a great second half, 12 and 10, 3.30 ERA for Jones. Mitch Keller was great as well, 11-9, 3.39 ERA for Mitch. Andrew Heaney, solid for a 4th starter. I don't know if we'll bring him back. Maybe we use that money to get maybe a better 4th starter in here. We'll see. 7-14 record. And then Johan Oviedo had a bad second half, but still an okay season for Johan. And then Zinski bounced back in the second half, 3.67 ERA for him. Ryan Barecki had a great season in his walk year. I don't know if we'll be able to bring him back, but we'll see. Bailey Falter, 2 games, 4.32 ERA. Carl Edwards Jr. was worth the free agent pay. He pitched 92 innings for a reliever. Ended up having a great year, 3.14 earned run average. Colin Holderman was solid. ERA under 4. Caleb Ferguson had a pretty bad second half of the season. David Bednar had a great bounce back year. That's what we needed from him. 2.36 ERAs in his walk year next year, so we'll have to see what that looks like. And then Dennis Santana was great in that setup role, 3.15 ERA. Looks like maybe we had an injury. Okay, we sent down Moreta. I don't understand why we sent him down for. That is weird. Why he wasn't even having a bad season? Okay, whatever. So let's take a look at the lineup. How everybody did. We had O'Neal Cruz overall, not a bad year. 19 home runs, 63 ribbies for him. Isaiah Kiner Falefa had a pretty good year. He's a free agent to be. We'll see if we bring him back. We'll see what's out there in free agency at shortstop. Brian Reynolds ended up finishing another 20 home run campaign. He did what he needed to do. Lawrence Butler, great acquisition. This guy is going to be a cheat code in franchise. I'm telling y'all, like, if y'all end up playing franchise mode and y'all want a guy who consistently puts up good numbers, I'm not going to get him all the time in franchise because I don't like to do that. But I've had him in two of these NL Central teams, and he's put up good numbers every single time. So look out for Lawrence Butler as a franchise cheat code. David Fry, good season. I mean, the power wasn't exactly what I expected, but not a bad season. 318 average, slugged over looks 482. So yeah, he had a pretty good season. Spencer Horwitz was okay offensively. Definitely could go, like I said, maybe in a platoon role for him going forward. Ezekiel Duran was okay. Not much really crazy offensively. Joey Bart just couldn't get going. He was hurt. And, he wasn't horrible when he did play. And Henry Davis, not much offensively. Nick Gonzalez was okay. Andy Rodriguez, I don't know why we have three catchers, but whatever. Jack Sawinski was dreadful this season. And then we look at Nicky York, left fielder, didn't even play. So we got to get some more offense in the offseason. That's clear as day. I mean, we did add some pieces, but I still don't think it's enough. I think we need to get a starter and also a relief pitcher. So I'm going to get to work on that, and I will see you guys at the start of the second season. Two underway. Hopefully we can make a playoff run. We did make some moves. We signed Chris Paddock to be our fifth starter. 2-year, $15.8 million per year. A little pricey, but a lot of the starting pitchers who were better than him were even going to be more pricey. So he had a good year last year, 14-9, 3.65 ERA. To have him as your fifth starter, I don't think it's too bad. So hopefully our starting pitching rotation is as good as it was last year. We signed a few relievers. Chad Green to a 1-year, pretty much $5 million deal. Had a sensational year last year. 1.88 ERA and 86 innings for the Blue Jays. So we bring him in on a 1-year deal. We also signed Paul Sewald. Didn't have a fantastic year last year, but adds a veteran to our pen. Was very cheap, $4 million. And then everything else pitching-wise is still the same. We did bring back Josh Bell to Pittsburgh. Didn't really see too many other first basemen out there that were willing to accept our offer. So him and Spencer Horwitz will platoon at first base, and maybe Josh Bell will bring back some of that magic he had in Pittsburgh a few years ago. He was hitting 37 home runs. Second base still the same. Third base, we got David Fry. We did trade for Ezekiel Tovar from the Rockies. I thought he was on a very reasonable deal. He's coming off an 18 home run year, drove an 84. Adds a little bit of pop to our lineup, even though his offensive stats aren't really high for power. I think he can bring some stability to our lineup, hopefully. And then we also signed Alec Burleson, which I don't know why every franchise he's released by the Cardinals. I don't understand that because he's still young and had 24 home runs last year. But he also might be, maybe a DH against righties or something like that because he's a good bat to have. So do we make any moves that will knock your socks off and go, yeah, that's a playoff team? No. But I do think we filled in some of the holes that we needed to on this team to make it improve. So we'll have to see how the second season goes. So we have a very intriguing offer from the Detroit Tigers. I'm very tempted to accept it. They want O'Neal Cruz, who's having a okay offensive season so far, only 14 games. They're going to trade us, if we accept this, Kerry Carpenter, who has a lot of pop against righties. We need some power in this lineup. He's 1 year older. They're both going to hit free agency at the same time. Wouldn't even matter in this franchise anyways. He's having a fantastic start to the season. They're also wanting to give us a shortstop who, see potential, 68 overall, could be a bench bat next season. And they also want to give us a starting pitcher, Reese Olson, who's also having a great year, under club control for many years. This is very intriguing, and I'm tempted to accept. I don't know who would play center field. Maybe Brian Reynolds would be in center. I'm not sure if Kerry Carpenter could play center. I guess he could. I'm going to go ahead and accept this trade. I think we get a lot back. I know O'Neal Cruz is a building block for the Pirates, but I do think this is a pretty fair deal. We get a starting pitcher. We get a right fielder with power. So I think that's a good deal. Braves. And listen, it's been a dreadful season. We're sitting at like 2 games under 500. In the next few minutes, you guys will see how we've been doing. And I'm debating whether just to get off Brian Reynolds' contract. I mean, he's not having like an awful season. He's still going to probably finish with his career norms, 20-plus home runs and everything. He's owed $13 million per year for the next 6 years. So it's like if we get off that money, that could be 13 million we could spread out to get, you know, another pitcher or two bats or whatever the case. I just feel like it's a better decision for next season to move Brian Reynolds and just try to make some moves with that money. So I'm going to go ahead and move him to the Atlanta Braves. It might not be the smartest move in the world, but it opens up some cap space. 500. It's not been a good season, and it looks like it's just going to be another lost season for us, unfortunately. It's just not been good with this Pittsburgh Pirates team so far. We did win 80 games last year. We were sitting, I think, at 54 and 53 last season or something like that. So there's hope maybe to make a run, but the division 6.5 games back, that would take almost a miracle run to get back in that. And then we're 4 games out of a wild card. Like there's a little bit of hope, but the realistic expectation is we're not going to make the playoffs. So let's see what everybody's been doing. Let's start off with a lineup. Kerry Carpenter, not providing much power, which is unfortunate. I thought he's going to be like that big leadoff power bat, only 10 home runs at the trade deadline. Has not really bad numbers other than that, though. He's hitting 298, 363 on base percentage, and slugging 482. So just needs to get a little bit of more pop going. Ezekiel Duran's having a good season, 12 home runs, 45 ribbies, 274 average. He's slugging 480 career high, so he's definitely getting more power going. Alec Burleson, not done much at all. I really thought he was going to have a big season for us, especially on a cheap contract. He has 1.8 million. Man, he has been dreadful. Lawrence Butler, not really been that great either. I mean, he has 15 home runs, but the average ain't where it usually is. Slugging's way down. Like, that's unfortunate. Josh Bell not having a bad season, really. Hasn't played like a ton. 8 home runs, 27 RBIs, hitting 284. Spencer Horwitz are both in the lineup, which is interesting. Spencer Horwitz having a good season, 11 home runs, 36 RBIs, 302 average, slugging 496. So he's been raking. Ezekiel Tovar's been good. I mean, 12 home runs, 52 RBIs. David Fry, not really been the bat we had hoped either. I mean, I thought he'd have more power too. Him and Kerry Carpenter not having much of power really is unfortunate. And then Joey Bart not having a horrible offensive season. I mean, the numbers are about where they usually are with him. So our lineup once again is letting us down. And you know, we've made some moves. We've tried to bring in some hitters. We brought in Butler, Carpenter, Fry, Tovar, Josh Bell. Are any of them guys superstars? No, but they got good offensive attributes. They just haven't really contributed. We brought up a 18-year-old shortstop. I think we drafted him, Santiago Infante. Hasn't played yet. Henry Davis is providing good offense in the backup catcher spot. Nick Gonzalez hasn't been bad either. And then Nick York's been not really that great. So offense hasn't been very good. Paul Skeens has been Paul Skeens. I mean, the ERA is close to 3, but still a great season, 9-3 record. Jared Jones has been good, 3.59 ERA. Mitch Keller's been great, 10-7, 3.16 ERA. Reese Olson, ERA a little high, but for a fourth starter, not awful. And then Chris Paddock's been good. So our rotation doesn't seem like as much of a problem either. Zinski hasn't pitched really hardly at all. Johan Oviedo's not really having a great season. Dennis Santana's been good, 2.85 earned run average. David Bednar's been awful, and especially in a walk here, that's unfortunate. I don't even know if even if we did move him, we'd get a lot back. ERA close to 7. Yikes. Chad Green's not been really that good either compared to last year. Unfortunate because we gave him a free agent deal. Colin Holderman not been good either. It seems like our bullpen's really been our downfall too. That in the lineup, 8.31 ERA. Whew, wow, that is not. Carl Edwards Jr. is not really having a great year either. Walk year. I mean, our bullpen's gonna have to be completely revamped, probably in free agency or trades. Paul Sewald's been doing his job though, 3.44 ERA, and the closer spot. Bullpen's been a disaster. I mean, you look at it. Edwards hasn't been good. Holderman, Chad Green's not been great. Bednar's been absolutely atrocious. Johan Oviedo's been okay. I mean, it's just been a disaster. So I'm not really sure what road to take at this trade deadline. We do have a lot of pieces that are free agents to be, but they're having an awful season. So is it really even worth trading them? I mean, I guess it's better to get something back than nothing, as they say. But man, it's been a dreadful season, and you know, I'll look around. If we end up making any moves, I'll let y'all know. If not, I might just send to the season and really try to go for it in the last season as a Pirate. Go for it can be. So we'll see. Players who are due for free agency or are making a lot of money. We traded Chris Paddock to the Mets for Ronnie Mauricio. We acquired Cade Morris from the A's for Paul Sewald, who was due for free agency. We acquired George Soriano, Shaden Pevyhouse, and Jimmy Franco from the Marlins for Carl Edwards Jr. And we acquired Abner Uribe from the Brewers for Johan Oviedo. Those are probably the only moves I'm going to make. Well, not only, I mean, they're 4 moves, but you guys know what I mean. They're probably the rest of the moves I'm going to make. Abner Uribe was really the best offer we got for Johan Oviedo. We didn't have to trade him, but we have so many starting pitchers. Felt like why not get some value back from one of them? He wasn't really pitching that great. So hopefully Abner Uribe is better in this franchise than he was in the Brewers. Maybe he's just a cursed franchise. I think his numbers right now are just, I mean, a 5.84 ERA, so not great. But he's a 25-year-old potential, so we'll have to see if that works out. We're going to give Bryce Elder the rest of the season to figure it out and see what our rotation is looking like going into the offseason. I know 1, 2, 3 were good, but 4 and 5 are up in the air right now with Olsen and Elder. And the bullpen's really just a tryout for the rest of these guys, see who really makes their stamp. David Bednar, we tried to move, but there was just no value out there for him. And then everybody else really not due for free agency. I mean, Josh Bell's due for free agency, but, I mean, we might bring back Josh Bell the way he's playing. He hasn't been bad, so we'll have to see how the rest of the season pans out, and I'll see you guys at the end of the season. And somehow we finish 8 games above 500, 2 games out of the division, and we make a wild card. That is a wild turn of events, I will say to y'all, because I didn't think we had any chance in hell to even make the playoffs. I'm not sure what happened. We traded away a lot of pieces and somehow made the playoffs. Let's see how everybody performed and why we even made the playoffs. So Kerry Carpenter had a great second half, 18 home runs, 62 ribbies, 284 average. Ezekiel Duran had a good season overall, 14 home runs, 63 RBIs at 279. Alec Burleson ended up putting up a decent season, 14 home runs, 55 ribbies, 276 average. Lawrence Butler raked in the second half, 28 home runs, 80 ribbies. Josh Bell ended up putting up a good season, 13 home runs, 55 RBIs. Spencer Horwitz was with a solid season. Ezekiel Tovar, not bad at all. David Fry ended up having a better second half. Joey Barr ended up finishing with 15 home runs. And we look at our bench, Henry Davis didn't put up bad numbers at all for his backup catcher. And then Nick Gonzalez gave us quality numbers off the bench. Mauricio was good off the bench as well. And then Nick York with 8 home runs hit 263. So our bench got the job done. And then we look at the pitching rotation. Paul Skeens, another good season. ERA is going up every single year, but still not a bad season. We look at Jared Jones. He was good, 9 and 10, 3.57 ERA. Mitch Kettler with a great season, 15 and 10, ERA under 3. Reese Olson with a solid season, 7 and 9 record, ERA just over 4. And then Bryce Elder was not very good. And then we look at Zinski, great 9 innings, .96 ERA. Chad Green was not very good compared to last year. Bubba Chandler got a little bit of a taste of the big leagues, 4.70 ERA. Bednar in his walk year just wasn't good, 4.48 earned run average, 8 blown saves. Colin Holderman was not good either. Just not good. 7 ERA. Moreta, who they keep sending down for some reason, he's not been bad. They just keep sending him down. I don't know why. Abner Uribe actually had a good season in franchise. Get the champagne out, because that is a surprise to see. Dennis Santana was fantastic. 15 saves, 2.14 ERA. So who are we facing so we're facing the Brew Crew, who we traded Johan Oviedo to. So we're going to sim game 1. We lose that. So we're going to quick manage game 2. We always lose game 1 for some reason. So can we get a win on the road in Milwaukee against the division-winning Brew Crew? We're going to have Jared Jones on the mounds. Let's do it. Nestor Cortez Jr. on the mound for the Brew Crew. Can Jared Jones give us a quality start? And can our offense get going here in game 2 against Nestor Cortez Jr.? We got 2 on, 1 out, and we cannot get anybody home. Good inning for Jared Jones. Leadoff error doesn't lead to anything. And this looks like a pitching duel so far. Both pitchers pitching well. And there's a 3-run bomb. As soon as I say that by Kerry Carpenter, it's 3-0. Jared Jones has a 3-run lead here. They bring in Aaron Ashby here in the 6th inning. We got first and third. 3-run bomb by Joey Barton. It is 6-0 Pittsburgh. DL Hall in the pitch. Jared Jones is just dominating the Brewers right now. And we get another run. Actually, we get another run, so it's 7-0. Leadoff double by Jackson Chourio. So we're going to go to the bullpen. We're going to put in Chad Green here. He gives us a good inning. DL Hall still in the game. We're going to go to Abner Uribe against his former team, and gets out of a jam. So DL Hall still in the game, bases loaded, nobody out, 1 run scores, and that's all we get. So it's 8-1. Don't really need to use our closer in this game. We're going to bring in Bubba Chandler here, and he has a 1-2-3-9. So we tie up the series. Jared Jones with a fantastic outing. So do or die game here in Milwaukee. Game 3. Can we advance here in the playoffs? And a shocking season, because I didn't think we even had a chance to even make the playoffs. So here we go. Tobias Myers on the mound. Game 3, 1-2-3 inning. Early run for the Brewers. 2 runs for the Brewers. 2-0 early. Can our offense pick us up a little bit here? Mitch Keller's not been great. Tobias Myers looking good so far. Let's see. Can we get some offense going, please? The Brewers still 2-0 lead. Only 1 hit for us. 2 hits now for us so far. 2 on, 2 out, and we fly out. Maybe 1 more inning out of Mitch Keller. Okay, we're going to go to the bullpen here. We're going to bring in Zinski here. He gets the strikeout. Tobias Myers has been fantastic in this game. Double play. Top of the 7th, leadoff single by Josh Bell, but a double play just kills that. We're going to bring in David Bednar here. Gives up 2 singles, a walk. We're going to go to the bullpen, bases loaded, Moreta, and he gets out of it. So top of the 8th, Myers still in the game. He is mowing us down here. Pitching change, Colin Holderman, 1-2-3 8th. So we have Duran, Burleson, and Lawrence here against Devin Williams. He's back in Milwaukee. Strikeout, line out, and ground out, and the Brewers advance. We get completely shut down. 2-0, only 5 hits. Who wins the World Series here? The Twins. That's a surprise. So second season didn't go very well in the beginning. We end up making a late push after trading away a lot of veterans, and we get eliminated in the wild card round. So a better second season than I expected. So I got to get on with this final season. Hopefully we can make another playoff run. I got to make some moves. I'll see you guys at the beginning of the 3rd season. Final regular season and hopefully playoffs of this franchise. And let's see some of the moves we made. We went out and signed Jose Alvarado. And he didn't really want a ton of money, which is surprising because he had an excellent year last year, 2.30 ERA. I said I was going to revamp this bullpen. We traded away Brian Reynolds. We traded away a lot of veterans, opened up some money. So we went out and spent a little bit more. Not anything crazy, but we did spend a little bit more money this offseason. We did get John Schreiber as well, 2.41 ERA last year. Great season for him. Hopefully he replicates that. And we signed Evan Phillips to a 1-year, $8.4 million deal, coming off a great season as well. So we added 3 big arms as bullpen. Hopefully that helps. We also added a big bat at first base, Pete Alonso. Didn't want a lot of money, 14.2 per year. I didn't really think that was too outrageous for the Pirates since they gave Brian Reynolds about the same amount of money. And Pete Alonso, you could argue, is a better player than Brian Reynolds. Well, he is power-wise a better hitter than Brian Reynolds, and hopefully he brings that big bat to Pittsburgh because we need it. And we also signed Chas McCormick because we traded away some of our outfielders. Didn't really have a great year last year. Really good defensive outfielder. Hopefully he replicates more of what he did in 2025 and 2023. And hopefully he just brings some versatility to our outfield. So we didn't, go out and spend a ton of money, but we did fill in the positions we needed, and I think it's going to help out a lot. And we have a lot of depth on this team, and hopefully this is the start of a playoff run, so let's do it. Really good season, and unfortunately for Bryce Elder, he's not having a very good season, 5.53 ERA. We're going to get Griffin Canning, who has a strained hamstring right now, but he should be back having a great season, 2.19 ERA. We're also going to give them Xander Mueth, who's 21 years old, C-level prospect, so we upgrade our rotation. Deadline, we're sitting at 63-48. Great season for us, and it's great to see because I didn't know what to expect after last season. We're in the wild card hunt, 2nd or 3rd wild card spot, so that's great to see. We have a 5-game cushion over the Padres, so it looks like we have a pretty good shot at getting in the playoffs. And we looked through everybody real quick, and Ezekiel Tovar has been great. 310 average, 17 home runs. Ezekiel Duran, wrong Ezekiel right there. Ezekiel Duran, 8 home runs, 41 RBIs for him. Lawrence Butler, not really having much power, but he's having a good season overall. Alec Burleson's been solid. Gonna have a better season he did last season. Pete Alonso's been raking. What an acquisition he was. 27 home runs the All-Star break. David Fry's having a better season, providing a little bit more power. Joey Bart, not been horrible either. Chas McCormick's had a good bounce back season. 10 home runs, 34 RBIs, 253 average. Nick Gonzalez has been hitting for average. And then we have Nick York, not providing much offensively. Henry Davis has done really well in that backup catcher spot the last 2 seasons. Mauricio's been good. And Spencer Horwitz has been really good, 15 home runs. If you guys are wondering where Kerry Carpenter is, he's out with a broken foot, but he should be back in 1 to 6 days, which is good. So we have him back for the postseason push. We take a look at the starting rotation. Paul Skeens has been excellent, 10 and 6, 2.53 ERA. Jared Jones not really having a great season so far. Hopefully he turns around the second half. Mitch Keller, who's been solid this whole franchise, another good year. Reese Olson's been great, 13 and 5, 2.62 ERA. And then we have Kyle Nicholas, who we just called up, and looks like we need to figure. Okay, Griffin Canning's out 1 to 6 days. That's right. Okay, so Griffin Canning will be our 5th starter that we traded for, who's having a really good season. Looks like he's pitching out of the bullpen, but we're going to put him in the rotation. We have Zinski here having a solid season. John Schreiber's been excellent, 2.39 ERA. Moreda's been awesome as well, 1.77 ERA. Soriano's been good for the most part. Jose Alvarado's been as good as advertised, 2.90 ERA. Abner Uribe, not been great. I don't know why I accidentally switched that. And then we have Evan Phillips in that closer spot, 23 saves, 3.20 ERA. So our team in general looks pretty good. I don't really know if there's any moves we have to make right now. If we can get Kerry Carpenter back healthy, I think that really helps our lineup big time. Like, I'm not really seeing anything that we have to upgrade. We did upgrade the rotation. Bullpen looks good. Like, I think we're going to ride this season out and see where we end up finishing, because I don't really see any big-time moves that we really need to make. We had some league leaders. Paul Skeens led the league in innings pitched and WAR. And we have Ezekiel Tovar led the league in hits with 201 hits. We end up winning 93 games. The Brewers win the division with 100 wins. So we're in the wild card, which is great. And 93 wins is a huge jump from last year, which is awesome. Let's see what everybody did before we get this final postseason going. Paul Skeens, 2.70 ERA. Jared Jones just didn't have a great year. Hopefully he pitches well in the postseason. Mitch Keller was great, 13 and 10, 3.45 ERA. Abner Uribe, I'm not sure why he's in the rotation. I guess they never changed that when I had Griffin Canning come back. Reese Olson was excellent, 14 and 6, 2.78 ERA, and then Griffin Canning was great as well, 8 and 2, 2.25. So our rotation got the job done. Abner Uribe was okay. I mean, that's not horrible. Bubba Chandler just couldn't get going. ERA of 8. Man, that is rough. Zinski, okay season. Definitely not where he's been the last few years. John Schreiber was as good as advertised, 2.88 ERA. And then George Soriano, who we got from the Marlins in the offseason, or actually last season, 3.32 ERA. Jose Alvarado, a little bit of a high ERA compared to last year, but still a good season. And then Evan Phillips, 42 saves, really got the job done. So we look at the lineup. Ezekiel Tovar, 21 home runs, 86 RBIs, hit 304. Ezekiel Duran was good as well, career year in home runs. Pete Alonso with 36 home runs, drove in 113, monster year for him. Lawrence Butler with a good year, 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, hit 279. Alec Burleson about where he was last year. David Fry with 19 home runs, good year for him. Nick Gonzalez with a good year. Joey Bart, 15 home runs, 54 RBIs. Pretty identical to last year, which is kind of funny. Like, his numbers are almost identical. Chas McCormick did better than I hoped. I honestly was just expecting just him to kind of be the end of the order bat, and he was that, but he was better than advertised. And then Henry Davis, backup catcher, was good. We had Mauricio was good off the bench. Our bench also was not bad either, so exactly what you want to see. So here we go. We're going to sim game 1 against Atlanta. We win that. Game 2, we lose that, so we're going to a do-or-die third game here in Atlanta against a 94-win Braves. So we're in Atlanta. Mitch Keller on the mounds. This is a good Braves team, as we all know. Solo shot by Tovar, who's had an awesome season, and it's 1-0. But the Braves are already trying to get back in it, but they hit into a double play. So hopefully Mitch Keller can pitch the game of his life tonight, because we need it to advance. Pitch, run. It looks like we have an injury. That's unfortunate. We do get a run, though, thanks to Burley. 1, 2, 3, third. Leadoff double for Gonzalez. And he is shutting down Atlanta right now. Another potential 1, 2, 3 inning. No. 2-0 still. Bottom of the 6th. First and third, 2 outs, and a run scores. So let's put in the bullpen here. Abner Uribe gets out of it with a ground out. Jason Adam in the pitch. We end up getting a 2-run bomb by Horwitz, who came in the game later on. Maybe one more inning out of Uribe here. No, he's not looking too good. So we're going to bring in Evan Phillips early. He gets a sac fly. Gamble, they're bringing him in early, but this is too big of a game not to. So we're going to give him one more inning here. He's not going to close, but he gives up a solo shot. He's not looking good either. We're going to bring in Bubba Chandler, and he gets out of it. So 4-3 game. Jose Leclerc in the pitch. Leadoff double by Gonzalez. A walk, 2 on, 2 out, and a fly out. So who do we put in the 9th inning? We're going to put in Jose Alvarado. Ground out, ground out, ground out. We advance. We do lose Ezekiel Tovar, which is unfortunate. That is actually unfortunate. We lost him. But we advance and take on the Brewers, who eliminated us last season. So we're going to sim game 1. We lose that. Game 2, we win that. Game 3, we lose that. So we got to win the next 2 games to advance. The Brewers have had our number, that's for sure. So we're in Pittsburgh. Game 4, down 2-1. Season on the line again. Jared Jones on the mound. Here at home. Crowd on their feet. Against former Pirate Johan Oviedo. That is funny. Man, Jared Jones has to pitch a great game. 2 on, nobody out, and we don't get a single run. Leadoff double, run scores, and the Brewers are just going to work here. We might have to take Jared Jones out, put in Bubba Chandler. 4-0 Brew Crew. Can our offense get going against former Pirate? Down 4-0 here. It's not looking good. Bottom of the 5th, leadoff double. There's 1 run thanks to Chas McCormick. But that's all we get. Our offense is just not hitting in this game. He is shutting us down. But what a game by Bubba Chandler, though. He's pitched his tail off. We're going to bring in John Schreiber here. They get a sac fly, so it's 5-1 Brew Crew. 2-out walk, pop up. Schreiber's not looking too hot either in this game. We're going to bring in Soriano, gets out with a double play. Oviedo still in the 8th inning. They bring in Darius Vines, 2 on, 2 out for David Fry, and he strikes out. So bottom of the 9th, we got Nick Gonzalez, Joey Bart, and Chas McCormick in the face. Mazereski, leadoff single by Gonzalez, double play, and our season is over. And back-to-back seasons by the Brew Crew. Very unfortunate. Brewers win the World Series. So I hope you guys enjoyed this franchise. I thought I made some pretty solid moves with the Pirates. We did improve every single season, which is a plus. So Pirates fans, let me know in the comments how I did. Did I make y'all proud? Make sure to like and subscribe for more MLB The Show 25 franchise content, more gaming content. Peace.